Can you just imagine what all of these kids are going to learn in history class in like 50 to 100 years? Because it's going to start with people voted for a man because they thought that he would make America better, even though it was known that he was guilty for sexual assault and defamation after slamming the victim, trying to pretend that he didn't do anything wrong. So people voted for him anyways because they wanted to protect their daughters from men in women's bathrooms, even though that's never been an issue. But he was able to convince everybody that this was an issue. And then he did a horrible job because he wanted to pretend that this world global pandemic wasn't a thing. So everybody got really sick, and then the economy took a giant shit. So then people didn't vote for him the second time, and he told everybody that the election was rigged. So then he convinced all these people who loved him and were obsessed with him to go to the Capitol and to riot, bring guns. He started beating officers there and throwing things, and one even shot off a gun. But then Trump was able to convince everybody that he was still great, even though he's had 6 bankruptcies, even maybe more. I don't even know at this point. And then people voted for him again, and then the election wasn't rigged. Immediately pardoned every single person that brought a gun and stormed the Capitol, which is like crazy. And he got Roe versus Wade overturned, so women's abortion rights went back to the states, and all of the red states had such large abortion bans that women were actually dying in the hospitals because they couldn't get the healthcare that they needed. And then for some reason, he started just like bombing all the boats in the ocean because he claimed that all these boats had drugs in it and he really was just killing people. And then he decided, let's kidnap this dictator in another country and bring him back here, and then we'll just have one of our administration members take care of that country. And we didn't hear anything about it afterwards. And then he convinced everybody that brown people were the problem, mainly Mexican, but kind of anybody of color, especially if they were speaking a different language. He hired all of these white supremacists and gave them a $50,000 bonus, even though he told everybody in America that we were in so much debt. They were just detaining people, and then they would get really angry and they would shoot people in the street with no repercussions because Trump and his vice presidents, J.D. Vance, told everybody that they had complete immunity. And then the biggest sex trafficking scandal in history came out with 3 million pages, and that president was in it 38,000 times, but he told everybody that he wasn't in it. Then a reporter asked him and said, hey, what do you have to say about all of these victims that feel like they're not getting justice? And he said, you need to smile more. You need to smile more while you're talking about sexual assault. And also, I'm not in them, even though I'm in them 38,000 times. So we should move on to things that are more important, like healthcare. Even though he took away child cancer research for children. It's going to be so interesting. And our children are going to read these books and be like, what the fuck did you guys do in America? And I'm going to say, I didn't vote for this.